Hey everyone, Test Studio now has RGB DRLs. They also have red, blue, yellow, but I like the RGBs. Why? Because we can play with them. That's why. We've got this cool remote. We've got an app. These things are really inexpensive. They're not that bad to install. It's a little bit of a challenge, but I get you through it. I get you through the whole thing. I've got a number of different installs that I have done now for RGBs, for DRLs, whether they're yellow. Anyway, I've got a few different install videos that I'm hodgepodging together for this one. All of it is completely relevant, and the best thing is this install will show you the easiest way to put these things in to replace your DRLs, to replace that LED panel within your headlights. So don't get confused with all the patchwork in this video, okay? It all works, just go with it. Obviously gonna look at the app, we've got a remote and full install. So if you saw that previous video I did with the yellow DRLs and the install, there is a third screw, right? The third screw in the back that's like, can be really difficult to get through. I showed you different ways, different types of tools, the techniques that I use to get to it. Well, while doing this one, I discovered a much easier way. That third screw is really not an issue any longer. So I tell you about that and the module, adding these additional wires connect both headlights. The module is difficult to get in. Well, I show you how to get that thing in there. It's not that big of a deal. And because I was pulling the whole front bumper off for something else, I get good camera angles. And you know what? I even took the entire headlight out just to really show you what's going on in there. But you don't need to do that for the install. I show you what you need to do and the easiest way to do it. Because that's what this channel is all about. Yeah, that's why you gotta like, subscribe, and set notifications. But hey, if installs like this intimidate you, look me up on Instagram. I am available for a small fee. Remember the discount code TESLAMARK. Try it out everywhere. It will save you the most amount of money. Let's try this out. Add device. All right, found. Yeah, this will get you in trouble. That's kind of neat. Let's see what we got from Test Studio. Okay, warranty support and remote. Cool. And the actual DRLs and then some thermal paste. Okay, yeah, this is important. I know we're going to have to put these on the back of the boards in order to transfer the heat. These things will generate a lot of heat, and this is important, so don't lose this. Remote control. Now, there is also an app. We'll get into that a little bit later, but there's an app that you can get to here. I think I saw it for Android and for Apple. All right, the remote control. So if you want quicker, oh, you know what? This is a pretty decent remote here. Oh, that's for the battery, to pull that off to make sure the battery gets contact. But oh, this is the nicest remote I've ever seen for like any kind of DRLs or LEDs. You know what I like? I like remotes just because, again, they're quick. If you've got them in your car, you can just quick turn things on, off, change the color of the DRLs. You don't have to pull your phone out. You don't have to have it all ready. The phone is always on some other kind of app, so you got to find, anyway. And I've got like 5 different apps for different lights on the car. I forget which app does what, so it's nice to have a remote. You could put a label on, whatever. Anyway, that's a nice remote. Okay, I'm getting the sense with this that we've got some quality stuff here. Let's take a closer look at these LED boards. Not a lot to like see here. You know what's interesting is this says Model Y 25 RGBW, and there is an R. There is an R on the side, so that tells you that it's the right side. The other one should have an L for the left side, but it's really interesting that it says Model Y, considering they're making this for the Model 3. When you handle these boards, also, handle it like I am here. Don't touch it. These are the actual LED, the lights. Just like any of the old school light bulbs, if you touch something, if you touch the outer part of the bulb, get oils on them, it gets really hot and it will cause the bulb to fail sooner. Same thing with these LEDs, just don't touch them. I do have some tips on how to run these cables to make the install easier. And so yeah, that is really it. You just have to pay attention to left or right panel. Leave them packaged up until you're ready to do the transfer. Don't get them dirty. Yeah, this one does have an L on it. I can see it through the package. We will be taking this off here. This is to protect the pins so they don't get bent up. All right, let's take a closer look at this. So this side is going to be tapping into the right headlight, and it's just you know, a pass-through connector. And then this will connect the actual DRL LED panel, and then this side will connect to the other headlight. All right, so this is nice. It pulls power and everything, so we don't have to tap into the battery at all. We just have to tap directly into the headlight. Okay, very nice. All right, let's get these on the car. In a couple spots, the install bounces between my friend's car and my car. Don't get confused. Might be able to be done with the wheel and tire on, but it just seems like it's more of a pain than it's worth. So took the wheel and tire off, took all of the push pins off around here in order to pull this down. Get access to, because what we need to get to is right here. And these two bottom screws are really easy to get to. There's a third one kind of back there. Can't really get the camera in there to see it very well. And it feels like it would be easy to just get in there and get out, but it's not. These are T20s, I believe. Anyway, that is what we have to take off first. But yeah, I would advise taking the wheel and tire off, taking this fender down. It's really not that big of a deal. Then you've got way easier access to this. So as I was doing the usual struggle to get back there, trying some different techniques just to, you know, try them out, see if anything is easier than when I put the yellow DRLs in my friend's car. And no, not finding anything easier at all, except when I took a better look and went, hey, what's all that light over there? Okay, obviously I've got the frunk out, and I had it out for other reasons, but look at this. Look, that is the Torx bit, and you got to put like a universal on there or something. So what's great again is that these Torx bits are just, they're so loose that you can spin them out just by hand. You don't even need a wrench to turn them out. And I like using this 3/8, although the actual Torx bit is a 1/4. So I've got the converter, 3/8 to a 1/4 converter, and then I've got that U-joint in there. If you use a 1/4 inch, however, you can actually get it all the way up here, and it's a little bit of a straighter run, but you know, you don't need to. You can do this. When you're trying to, however, get the Torx bit to go in there and you got this U-joint, you know, it's all flopping all over the place. So I just used the screwdriver to kind of, you know, hold it up, just kind of while you're pushing on this side here. And I don't want to mount the camera anywhere, it's a little hard to do, but you get the idea. And then, yeah, once it's in there, you just spin it by hand and turn it out. But you can imagine it is way easier when you can actually see the screw. So, lesson is, take the freaking trunk out and you're good to go. Also, taking this off really didn't really make it any easier. Fender would be like here, so you've got some kind of more access just to put your arm, but it really does not help you at all. There's no way to get in back behind there from under here. I thought for sure there would be some way to do it. It turns out though that this, you know, taking this bumper off isn't really helping you at all. Taking the tire off, taking this thing all the way down, it does help. It aids in just kind of reducing frustration. You know, here on the other side, right there, it's right there. It's a little bit more of a bend, but I think we're good to go on this side too. So yeah, anyway, this is the trick. Okay, all three screws out, and this pops out. Does not pop out very far at all. And spin it around. You gotta push that tab in. Alright, I can't do this with one hand, but anyway, you push this in, and this connector comes unplugged. Okay, let's get some of this paste on here. The locating tabs will only allow you to put this on one way. And it is this way. Again, don't touch any of the LEDs in there. This is a T10, by the way. So when you put this back on the headlight there's an inner ring that will hit these wires. So you need to kind of push them down like this ahead of time. And they're going to need to be then bent down like this. And then obviously, because there's, you know, this is a lot thicker here, what I have done is lube this up so that it slides on, because otherwise it just grabs it too hard and it rolls this. It just doesn't want to go on. And anyway, this super lube is great because it doesn't damage any rubber or anything like that. It's a synthetic type of grease. It doesn't smell. Actually it's a really nice grease. To me, if you put the wires on the outside, there's going to be more of a gap than if you put them on the inside. I don't know, but this just kind of made more sense to me. This seems better to me. If you're having trouble with this for whatever reason, you want to try to put them on the outside, okay. I also think if you put them on the outside, there's more of a chance of it damaging the actual wires, because they're going to be taking the brunt here of the pressure. So that's my thought with why the wires are, why I ran them this way. Okay, get this back on the car. All right, so decided to just take the headlight out and show you guys what's going on, because it's just so much easier since I've got the bumper and everything off for other reasons. You know, what's another 2 or 3 bolts? It's just hard when it's in the car to see what's going on, and I'm pushing this thing in, and you know, you're pushing it in and pushing it in, and especially pushing from, you know, underneath the fender in that. You can't really push it in, and it kind of pops right back out. But once you get these screws started, and you can push this in enough to get the screws started, then you screw these in and it goes in pretty easy. You know, I'm not putting a lot of torque on this at all. Although you don't want to get too crazy because you're just screwing into plastic here. So if there's like a massive block and it doesn't want to go in, you know, you can't give too much torque to it. So it's pretty much down all the way. Yeah. it's sealed up. This is sealed up pretty well. All right, let's keep going. Right now, basically, it's easy to just use this basic driver here. So put this one in maybe a quarter halfway, the other one a quarter halfway, and then we're going to go to the top to that third Torx and screw that one in with this huge extension. And I magnetized the tip of this Torx here to hold onto the screw. Otherwise, you could just put some electrical tape or something like that to hold it on. I am going to put it in there and start screwing it down. A little tough with the camera and stuff, so let me get that screw in there. You want to try to bring these in, you know, somewhat evenly. So you don't want to tighten one side up completely and leave the other side loose. That's not going to be good. You want it to go in somewhat flat. You know, and then we're going to pass this up there just like the other side. All right, now that we've got the DRL board in, time to hook the wiring up, and this is going to go to our headlight in here. Push that red button back in. Okay, then this, oh, it goes this way. Okay, click that together. All right. And then up here, I taped this connector just because it kept wanting to fall back in. So we plug these guys together. All right, and then after I get this side plugged in, yeah, we'll come back and clean all this stuff up here in a little bit. All right, pretty basic organization, just zip tied everything here around like that. Tied it up there, tied it there, to there, to there, and the connection to the other headlight. Just make sure you don't have this thing anywhere where the frunk will bolt down to, where it's going to get tied up. Here, for example, is what the frunk sits on. Otherwise, there's really a lot of room around here. Just avoid some of these areas like here.